from birth. They could be as stupid as anything, but they were still smarter than any person of color. That's what they thought. So by them thinking like that, they wouldn't take no advice or anything from a person of color, but yet they were commanding infantry squads of people of color, which made us believe and made me know to this day that it didn't make no difference to them how many of us got killed, because they're gonna still fill these squads back up with more people of color, and we were, what is the word for it? Expendable. Mm-hmm. Just kill off as many of them as you can. If you kill them off over here, they won't go back over there to America, back to the country, to the world, and join up with, as they used to call over there, Martin Luther King. That's what they used to call it, to get us to stir it up. What they didn't realize, most of us, a lot of us wasn't going for that Martin Luther King thing anyway. I respect Reverend King for what he did, but his views was not like, I didn't think like what Reverend King. Reverend King preached and practiced nonviolence. You spit on me and hit me, I'm not gonna smile at you. Simple as that. So, I don't know.
I guess the thing what you were telling me was your the people you trained with at Camp Lejeune, when y'all went over there, I think that was the breakdown I was looking for.
Lejeune?
Yeah, because you said you had about 5 white guys and the rest of them were black, and then you were telling me how many of them made it through.
Yeah, well, the white people was in command. The blacks was answering command. As far as who came back, you talking about from the guys that went through boot camp with me to the end of my tour duty, that I know of, including myself, 3 of us came back here. I'm one of them that came back the way I went over there, not exactly well whole. I can still walk the same way I did when I went over there. I got hit though. One of them guys, one of them 3 that I know of, left half of himself over there. He don't have nothing from here down. You understand what I'm saying? The rest of them, they killed them. Period. Killed them over there.
No sleep for Charlie today.
We start off in boot camp with, I think it was 82. We graduated from the island with 74 of them, I think. When you go to ICR, you go to Lejeune and Shanghai, North Carolina, that's when they break it down even more, because some people was, I think when we got on the bird to go over there, we had about 60 people. Because some people go off to other assignments, don't get combat assignments, and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think we took about 60 people from the originals. Some of them just plain didn't make it through. Some people, you would think that they were washed out in boot camp, and they didn't. And they did real good in boot camp. Then they get to advanced training, and they wash out because, I think they wash out because they realize that they're that much closer to that situation that they're getting ready to go to. So, a lot of people just laid down. I imagine that's what they did. They quit. I couldn't. If I laid down, I'd say, no, I ain't going over there. Then they were going to take me back to prison. So, we went over there, I think, with 60-something people. Then, when you get there, you go off and you get assigned to different infantry squads. You get assigned to different parts of that little country over there. You go off in all kinds of rescue. But what made our situation a little different from that basically is that when we got there at the very end of the so-called teleoffensive, where they kept us, I guess, most of us stayed together for out of necessity. They needed bodies. So they put you right through where they needed bodies right over there, and that's where they put you at. And that's where a lot of them, I think about a third of them died right there in that battle, so-called battle for Way. A third of them died there within the first month of being over there. They hadn't been there a month and was already dead and coming back in the bag and put you in that cylinder. That's what that so-called coffin looked like a cylinder. And they put them in that thing and they came back home. They hadn't been gone from home a good month and they was coming back. Only thing is they saw where they were going when they were coming over there. They didn't see anything coming back. They was dead. Did it bother me that they were dead? Not really. I didn't really know them people at the very first part of it. That you went through boot camp and did this and that with these people, you still didn't really know them. Then you get to a place where you see a lot of these people die. Then you don't want to know them because you don't want to make friends with a person today and watch them die tomorrow. So you distance yourself from everything, which is not a good thing because it cuts off human feeling. And I learned how to distance myself from people, and I still live that way, and that's not good. Really ain't.
That's about.
We are done now, Mr. Mangum.
Well, yeah, we're pretty. One thing I want to ask about having come back and the
How close
benefits.
are we to being done?
I got about 3 questions.
Oh
Uh,
I don't have enough.
about.
The weather is on the side of the North Vietnamese. Communist gunners timed their attacks to take advantage of the mist that periodically envelops the airfield, which prevents the American planes from striking back. 9 days into the siege, American intelligence reports the presence of a 4th North Vietnamese division in the Khe Sanh area, bringing the total enemy strength to approximately 40,000. Half of these appear poised for an attack on the garrison.
In early February, the enemy again tried to take the 861 complex. However, this time they made an effort on its twin sister 861A. The attack on that hill was repelled through the use of not only the supporting arms, artillery, air, but also, as with every other attack on the perimeter, by the organic infantry weapons, the 81mm mortars, 3.5 rockets, M79, machine guns, and mines, and every other weapon available to an infantry battalion.
February 10th. The North Vietnamese Communist Party newspaper boasts that the U.S. faces a defeat as disastrous as that suffered by the French at Dien Bien Phu. There is growing concern over the fate of the Marine garrison as the U.S. press also revives the same specter. At stake now is more than a key military stronghold. The Communists are out to inflict heavy casualties, hoping to shock the Americans to the negotiating table.
The Battle of Khe Sanh. This was a very traumatic experience for the American people, but I never had any real concern about Khe Sanh. I had a few restless nights, but I had full confidence that we were going to win the Battle of Khe Sanh because we had the means.
The Americans have protection from big 175mm guns at Camp Cairo, about 17 miles to the east, and at the Rock Pile, about 12 miles to the northeast. Inside the garrison, the troops have a handful of tanks, anti-tank weapons, 4.2-inch mortars, and about 20 artillery pieces, including 105 and 155mm howitzers. But their secret weapon is air power. Fighter bombers of the Navy, Marines, and Air Force capable of mounting 600 flights a day. But the crowned king of the bombers is the B-52. Coming in at 20,000 feet and decimating the target area with 500 and 750-pound bombs, the B-52s strike terror in the hearts of the North Vietnamese troops. The enemy is forced to dig in, keep their heads down, and wait for the devastating thunder to pass. As reassuring as the combat planes are to the embattled Marines, it is the supply planes that garner the most enthusiasm. Unarmed C-130s and 123s brave shrapnel-infested skies to keep the Marines supplied with fuel, ammunition, medical supplies, building materials, and mail from home.
And according to our calculations, we could supply Khe Sanh by parachute drop, and we had prepared ourselves for this contingency some 18 months before. During the ensuing period, I had required the commanders to rely from time to time on aerial resupply to practice the system and get the pilots accustomed to dropping these supplies in all weather conditions. So when the time arrived, we were able to supply that garrison of some 5,000 people.
February 13th. The bloody standoff is 3 weeks old. Marine casualties mount as a platoon is ambushed by Viet Cong forces 800 yards outside the barbed wire perimeter. Allied aircraft concentrate on creating a protective wall of fire around the garrison to keep the Marines safe from advancing enemy forces.
The Marines were told to button up. I told them to confine their patrols to close-in patrols for their own security, because I did not want them venturing too far afield where men would get killed and wounded or lost, so that we could not afford to put our firepower in the area where we knew they were located. And we started pouring it on. And that's the thought that came to mind when I called this Operation Niagara. And this is exactly what happened. The bombs fell all the month of February and all the month of March.
North Vietnamese artillery continues to pound the garrison, but there is little even air power can do to stop the blasts. Some of the enemy guns and rocket launchers are dug into the caves across the Laos border, 10 miles away. February 22nd. Troop movements indicate that the enemy is massing for the long-expected attack. The defenders waited out in their sandbag bunkers and trenches. They're positioned reinforced by tangled coil and barbed wire and studded with explosive charges and claymore mines. At command posts in Saigon and Honolulu, watch teams manning the war rooms wait for word that the anticipated communist assault has been launched. American intelligence reports indicate that the all-out attack should come early Monday.